In the final hours before dawn, something extraordinary began to happen. A soft glow formed at the base of the tree, spreading upward, growing brighter, radiating outward in perfect stillness. Inside Siddhartha's mind, countless lifetimes unfolded. He saw the rise and fall of worlds, the cycles of birth and death, the endless movement of suffering, and the path beyond it. Then, as the first light of dawn touched the horizon, everything became infinitely clear. Siddhartha Gautama awakened. He understood the nature of suffering. He understood the source of suffering. He understood how suffering can end. He understood the path that leads to liberation. In that moment, he became the Buddha, the enlightened one. The forest bowed in silence. The earth grew still. Even the wind softened its breath. When Buddha opened his eyes, the world was new. Not because the world had changed, but because he could finally see it, completely, truthfully, compassionately. From that day forward, he spent his life teaching the middle way, the path of mindfulness, compassion, and inner freedom, a path that continues to guide millions around the world today, and it all began under the shade of a Bodhi tree, in the quiet of a single extraordinary morning. The journey, the Graeae, the Nymphs, and the battle against Medusa. Perseus did not know the path to Medusa's lair, but the gods would not abandon him. Two divine siblings, Hermes and Athena, came to his aid. Athena gifted him a radiant shield, polished like a mirror. Hermes promised to guide him, for as the messenger of the gods, he knew every road, every hidden path in the world. They instructed Perseus to seek the ancient Graeae, three primordial sisters who shared a single eye. Moving with stealth, Perseus seized their only eye and demanded to know the secret paths, the location of the nymphs, keepers of sacred relics, and the hiding place of Medusa. Powerless without their eye, the three sisters surrendered the truth. From the nymphs, Perseus received three divine gifts: the winged sandals that carried him through the skies, the helm of invisibility, and a sacred bag crafted to hold Medusa's head. Athena revealed the tragedy of Medusa's past. Once a beautiful maiden, cursed into a monster with serpents for hair and a gaze that turned mortals into stone. Guided by Hermes, Perseus flew to the edge of the world, where Medusa and her sisters dwelled among the dead. Two Gorgons, Euryale and Stheno, guarded the entrance. But with the helm of invisibility, Perseus slipped past them unnoticed and stepped into a cavern of nightmares. Statues, once warriors, stood frozen in eternal terror. The air was thick with dread. In the shadows, something moved. A hiss, a slithering of serpents, and then a sudden strike. Medusa attacked from the darkness. Perseus ducked behind a pillar as her arrow shattered stone beside him. Fear threatened to consume him, but Athena's wisdom lit his mind. He raised the reflective shield and saw Medusa's distorted face in the polished bronze. He edged closer, watching only through the mirror, waiting, breathing, until the moment came. With a single divine strike, he severed her head. From her blood sprang two beings, the winged horse Pegasus and the golden warrior Acrisius. Without looking at the head, Perseus sealed it in the sacred bag. Then with the winged sandals, he soared into the sky, victorious, yet knowing fate still had more in store. Atlas, Andromeda, Cetus, Polydectes, and the prophecy fulfilled. As Perseus journeyed home, he reached the shining gardens of the Hesperides, the realm of the Titan Atlas. Perseus announced himself proudly, "I am Perseus, son of Zeus, slayer of Medusa." But Atlas laughed. "A mortal? Defeat the Gorgon? Leave my land." Insulted, Perseus opened the sacred bag and revealed Medusa's head. The Titan gazed into her eyes and became an enormous mountain, forever holding the heavens upon his back. Further along his journey, Perseus came upon the land of Ethiopia. There, Princess Andromeda was chained to the rocks, offered as a sacrifice to the sea monster Cetus, because Queen Cassiopeia had boasted that her daughter was more beautiful than the sea nymphs. When the monstrous Cetus rose from the waves, Perseus did not hesitate. With winged sandals soaked from the surf, he fought on the jagged coastline, dodging, striking, battling against the fury of the sea. And with one final blow, he slew the creature and saved Andromeda. Her grateful father granted Perseus her hand, and together they traveled to Seriphos, where his final trial awaited. When Perseus returned home, he discovered that King Polydectes had been abusing Danae, forcing her to flee into the sacred temple of Athena. Enraged, Perseus gathered allies and marched toward the palace. Polydectes, afraid of the hero's return, ordered soldiers to defend him. As the battle raged, Perseus faced overwhelming numbers. But he shouted, "All who stand with me, close your eyes." He reached into the bag and unveiled Medusa's head. The palace courtyard turned silent as every enemy soldier became stone. Polydectes hid behind his throne, trembling. Perseus found him cowering and said, "You will remain in this palace forever in the form I see before me." And the king, too, became stone. Perseus then crowned Dictys, the humble fisherman who had saved him, as the new ruler of Seriphos. His victories spread across Greece, and yet the prophecy still lingered. One day, during a festival honoring the gods, Perseus joined a disc-throwing contest. By chance or by fate, his throw curved unexpectedly and struck an old man watching from afar. The man was Acrisius, the very grandfather who once cast him into the sea. Without hatred, without intention, Perseus had fulfilled the ancient prophecy. In time, he founded the glorious city of Mycenae, establishing a dynasty of heroes, including Heracles, the greatest of them all. A life born from tragedy, a journey woven by the gods, and a legend that would echo across eternity. In the ancient land of Argos, there ruled a powerful king named Acrisius. He commanded armies, wealth, and influence. Yet his heart was troubled by the one thing he lacked, a male heir. Desperate for answers, the king traveled to the sacred oracle of Delphi. But the prophecy he received did not soothe his fears. It shattered them. You will never have a son, and no matter where you hide, you will be killed by your own grandson. Horrified by the fate woven for him, King Acrisius returned to Argos. He had only one daughter, Princess Danae. Terrified of the prophecy, he locked her away inside a bronze tower, a prison of stone and shadows meant to keep fate itself at bay. But fate cannot be denied, and the gods were watching. From the heights of Mount Olympus, Zeus, king of the gods, heard the sorrowful prayers of the imprisoned princess. Moved by compassion and love, he descended from the heavens, transforming into a shower of golden light. Through the cracks of the tower, the divine radiance entered. And from that union, a child was conceived, a child destined for greatness, Perseus. When Acrisius discovered the infant, rage consumed him. Convinced his daughter had shamed him, he made a merciless decision. Danae and her newborn son were sealed inside a wooden chest and cast into the sea. "I did not kill them," Acrisius declared. "If the gods wish them dead, let the ocean claim them." But the gods had other plans. At the request of Zeus, Poseidon guided the drifting chest to the island of Seriphos, where a humble fisherman named Dictys rescued Danae and raised Perseus as his own son. Perseus grew strong, handsome, brave, and noble of spirit. One day he and his mother were invited to a great feast in the palace of King Polydectes, the ruler of Seriphos. The king desired Danae, but she was always protected by Perseus. During the feast, guests offered lavish gifts, horses, jewels, treasures from distant lands. Perseus, being poor, had nothing worthy to give. But with pure-hearted courage, he said, "I own no riches, but if you wish, I will bring you the head of the monster Medusa." The king seized this chance to rid himself of Perseus forever. "Go then," Polydectes commanded, "and do not return until you bring me her head." And so, the hero stepped into destiny, fearless, determined, chosen by the gods themselves.